What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and this will be a quick video, but I wanted to let you know that it is Friday, and Project Black Flag Fridays are gone in favor of the new Valiant Friday, which is what Kobold Press is now calling their weekly update on what once was called Project Black Flag, which has transitioned now to Tales of the Valiant. So here is the first post in the Tales of the Valiant Fridays. And it basically is just saying that that's what we're going to call it going forward. Playtest Packet 3 is going to be all about monsters. We can see the sort of troll monster that is right here. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. A preview of our Monster Vault book contains some classic monsters from the SRD, updated using the current core fantasy role-playing rules concepts, and new never-before-seen monsters. Editor's note, a couple we ran on the blog not too long ago. Like, again, this seems to be their version of the troll art. We are very interested to hear what you think about the improved lore and usability of monsters, all compatible with 5th edition you're already playing. Look for it next week. So this is not much here. Again, just a name change. I really don't love this version of the logo. It bugs me. It's too much blue. I'm not I realize I'm in the most nitpick of territory here. I do get the sort of cutlassy pirate vibe, which is a remnant, kind of gives me the concept of Project Black Flag with some of these. Although somebody in one of my comments said that it looked like this E over here had a boner, and I can't stop thinking about that because I think it's ridiculous. But I do think if we were to take this concept and then expand it out into like a tattered flag banner, and you could still keep the name Tales of the Valiant, but the banner look, I'm gonna keep harping on that. No one's gonna ever listen to me, but I'm gonna try my damnedest. That kind of like it on sort of like a waving tattered banner would look a lot cooler, and it would be like a little homage to the old school Project Black Flag name. But either way, so next week we're gonna get monsters. So I'm curious to see about that, and then I was thinking about it, and I've made my, opinions clear. While I'm excited about Tales of the Valiant coming out, we're in a weird spot, because we know WotC is not even going to go with a 5.5. They're going to go with just revising 5e. Now, again, whether that is truly an actual just revision, or if it is actually a 5.5, I don't know if we'll know till we get to see the final version. But I know there's a lot of concerns in the community, and I have them myself, that there's a little redundancy here potentially for like Tales of the Valiant. How different can you truly make it while still being true to 5e? But also 5e is now updating to the 2024 version of it. Will Tales of the Valiant be compatible with that? By definition, it having to work on the SRD, it's kind of the older version, so I'm not entirely sure. There is the potential. Unfortunately, we're Tales from the Valiant a little bit older. I think you could have really cemented yourself in the marketplace. But, like, what are they going to do? Probably add pricing for magic items, but we know WotC's going to do that in 2024. So, like, little things that you or I could make, whether in Tales of the Valiant, level up 5e, your own new version of 5e, whatever, what have you. You could do stuff, but it sounds like WotC is taking most of that concept and applying it to 2024. One thing that I would love to see, and I'm hoping maybe Tales of the Valiant will do this, is because they specifically said they're adding new and improved lore and usability to the monsters, would be stuff, I mean, unfortunately, I'm just hearkening back to older editions, but where they used to have, like, monster knowledge rolls, where they basically be like, okay, if you're looking at, like, a troll, it would be, I don't know, let's say it's an Arcana check, and it'd be like Arcana DC 10. And if you make an Arcana check about it, this is what your character knows about it. And an Arcana check 15. And it will kind of give you a little, that will pad out your monster book with possibly what some people consider unnecessary information. But I think that could be pretty useful to give you sort of monster knowledge checks. Now, you also could just build that into the base skill checks, and then, you just come up with an idea of what the information would look like. But I would love it more if I could have it kind of in the stat block. So if someone's like, have I ever seen this creature before? You show them the art, right? And they're like, oh, you can make me an Arcana check. And they're like, oh, yeah, and this. And you're like, yeah, you, from travels, from adventuring, school, whatever, you've picked up a little bit. The description vaguely reminds you of something, and like you're not necessarily sure of the name, but you remember something that looks kind of like this had XYZ, something like that. Again, I don't know if we'll get that in Tales of the Valiant, but that's something I like to see and something I try to implement into my own games. But I don't know. I've seen the comments. I think it's pretty... You know what? I'm going to make a poll probably shortly after this video goes out because I'm curious. I think it seems in the comments... I'm not going to call it exactly 50-50, but it's close, of people that are still excited about Tales of the Valiant. And some of those people are just excited because they love Kobold Press. Some are excited because they can continue to play 5e without having to support WotC, if that's something they want to do. And then other people are like, with the changes WotC's making and the way Kobold Press is handling this, you're just not interested with it at all, or you've just moved on from 5e as a whole to something else. So I'll put up a poll and I'll see kind of what we can gather to kind of get some metrics of how do people feel about Tales of the Valiant. Are they excited for it? Are they just going to go back to 5e? Are they going to ditch it entirely? Anyway, you can leave your comments here, but I'll put a poll out shortly. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.